Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Kol Haloyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakah Kodash. For blessing our elders with the spirit of truth, so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwah that's keeping the faith and the works. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abayan coming at you with more precepts. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 21. It says, Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right? So, for the longest, the gas prices was just steadily dropping in some places. Some places are still sky high. Right? Like in California, I believe in New York too, and certain places, the gas still booming, but in others it's not. Right? In others, it seems to be, whereas things used to look bleak as far as prices go, things looked as though they were taking a turn to be better. Right? I know in Alabama, the gas prices went way down. Right? And by people seeing things cheap upon the earth again, mindsets went back to it's gonna be okay. Mindset still on some it's gonna be okay. Right? The majority of the Most High people feel as though this place ain't gonna never go down. Even if it's down, it's gonna always bounce back. Right? The majority of the Most High people stupid, just being real, ignorant as hell. That's why the Most High himself calls them sottish children. The word sottish literally means stupid. Right? But it says, Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that ain't nothing but the truth, right? So, with that being said, I'm going to let this video play and I'll be back.
You may have noticed that oil prices are up again. It's not because of any new disruption. It's not because of fresh escalations in Ukraine. It is because oil producers deliberately made that choice. I am talking about OPEC and its allies, the cartel of oil-producing countries. They held a meeting in Vienna on Wednesday. It was the first in-person meeting since the COVID-19 pandemic. Most experts were predicting an output cut, and that is exactly what it did.
Salah, 1 second. Now, OPEC stands for Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. Right? Petroleum exporting countries, meaning the individual countries that are in charge of the oil supply of the world, for a major oil supply of the world. Right? These countries or nations that are attached to OPEC are Algeria, Angola, Congo, Ecuador, Equatorial Ghana, right? Gabon, the Islamic Republic of Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Venezuela. Now notice, out of a lot of these countries that I named, America has done dirty. They last little hope was Arabia. That was their last little cling on to OPEC, Saudi Arabia, or the United Arab Emirates. But as of late, Saudi Arabia has not been dealing with the daughter of Babylon. They've been moving more towards Gog and Magog. They've been moving more towards the bear than the beast. Right? Or more towards the bear than the whore. Right? So, all right.
Agreed to slash oil production by 2 million barrels per day. What was their justification? Apparently, to stabilize the markets.
Our priority now is stabilizing market. Now, we could be accused of wanting to influence market in a negative way. That's everybody's prerogative. You and others will see how we conduct ourselves in the months to come.
Well, no one is buying that argument. This production cut is not aimed at stabilizing the markets. It is aimed at driving up the prices. Let me put out the theory behind it: supply and price having an inverse relationship. Meaning, if supply rises, prices will fall, and if supply falls, prices will rise. In this case, OPEC and its allies are doing the latter. They are cutting the supply to drive up the prices. And it's already working. Brent crude rose by 1.7% to reach $93 per barrel. Oil prices are now at a 3-week high. The question is, why now? This is OPEC's largest cut since 2020 during the pandemic. What explains this timing? Simply put, because the money is good. In the past, OPEC countries were happy when oil was trading between $70 and $80, but this year the revenue has been bumper. When Russia invaded Ukraine, oil prices rose to more than $120 per barrel. So the OPEC countries got used to it. With an economic crisis around the corner, they want to build up a cushion. And the best way to do that? Drive up the oil prices and the revenue. Now, coming to the big question, how will this affect you, the consumer? We will have to see how oil companies transfer these higher rates to us. As for the overall supply, it is unlikely to change. Why is that? Because OPEC countries were already producing below their official quotas. So in practice, it won't be much of a reduction. That is the technical part of OPEC's decision. What about the political aspect of it? The United States was pushing OPEC to increase oil production. In July, Joe Biden had traveled to Saudi Arabia to reset his ties with the kingdom. What does Riyadh do? The exact opposite. They have ganged up with Russia to reduce oil output. The White House has called this decision short-sighted. Listen in.
OPEC's decision to cut production's quotas is short-sighted while the global economy is dealing with the continued negative impact of Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Look, it's clear that OPEC Plus is aligning with Russia with today's announcement.
Aligning with Russia. That's a serious allegation to make. The fact is, this oil cut reveals America's loosening influence over Saudi Arabia. Not only have they not condemned Putin's war, now they are siding with him to increase oil prices. Clearly, this is a message to Washington. Is there anything that Biden can do about this? Well, the White House is considering 3 moves. Number 1, to keep releasing oil from their strategic reserves. Like we said at the start, it's all about the supply. If the US can release more oil into the market, prices will cool down. Number 2, legislative action. The US Congress is discussing a bill called NOPEC, the No Oil Producing and Exporting Cartels Bill. It's a bit controversial. Right now, OPEC Plus members and their oil companies enjoy sovereign immunity. Though they are a cartel, they cannot be sued. The NOPEC bill aims to change that. It would allow US courts to hear antitrust cases against OPEC members. Now, this bill has a lot of gray areas, like what kind of power can the US courts have over a foreign power? Will it affect diplomatic relations? So, for more than 2 decades, this bill has been stalled, but maybe not anymore.
So I just want you to just think about what she just said. Out of all them countries that I just named that are under OPEC, America is talking about they finna pass a bill to sue these countries as though you got power over a whole nother country. Like what does your court have to do with Saudi Arabia? What the hell does your court system have to do with the Congos? I'm just saying. Like, I understand if you want to do something to say, well, y'all can't deal directly with America, but you talking about suing. How you gonna sue? Sue who? That's the pride in this place. That's another reason why the Most High, again, he bamming it up. He bamming it up. These folk real deal believe that they just gonna continue to be the world superpower for as long as they feel like they want. It don't work like that, man. History show you it never works like that. Right? This kingdom is falling and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. All right, now speaking on Venezuela, because, she brought it up. Right? They tried to real deal overthrow the Venezuelan president with raising a rebellion in Venezuela and tried to sneak in an Obama lookalike. This dude named Juan Guaido. They tried to push this man into the leadership of Venezuela. And if you can remember, Venezuela blocked off the entranceways into his country. Right, that is basically you can go to Venezuela in a vehicle, right, in a truck for real. You can drive down there because it's all connected. It's really like South America for real, right? And they real deal crashed that system. The daughter of Babylon crashed the Venezuelan economic system to the point to where money was useless. I'm talking about useless to the point of having crates of money just sitting in the middle of the street and nobody paying it no mind because it was worthless. Pallets of money sitting in the streets, straight useless. Right? America made a play on that on Venezuela, and it's because of the oil that's there. And now they begging. That man stood his ground and said, I ain't going nowhere. Right? He stood his ground. And now America begging these folk. And these people are part of OPEC. And now, since OPEC don't want to do what the daughter of Babylon want them to do, these niggas talking about taking them to court. Man, these folk funny, man.
Reports say it could garner 60 votes out of 100 in the Senate, and if passed, it could be a huge blow to the US-Saudi relations. What's the plus side? OPEC may not be able to rig the oil prices so freely. And coming to strategy number 3. Open the oil taps elsewhere in the world. Reports say the US is all set to strike a deal with Venezuela, sort of like a quid pro quo. The US will ease sanctions on Venezuelan oil, and in return, the President Nicolas Maduro will hold free and fair elections in 2024. Just to be clear, neither side has confirmed this deal. It is purely based on reports in US media. But if true, they reveal how desperate Joe Biden is. Remember, November is election month in America. One of the biggest poll issues is the rising energy prices. So Biden seems to be trying everything to keep the markets calm. He made one U-turn with Saudi Arabia. Now he could be making another U-turn with Venezuela. Tells you how powerful oil is in politics.
All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 37. It says, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. All right, the price of things seems to be okay right now, so people are at ease. Then, on top of all of that, Sleepy Creepy Joe talking about going back into the marijuana laws and, taking that tag off of it, right? That prohibited tag off of it federally. All right, so this man real deal trying to put the people to sleep. I'm talking about the strong way, because these people understand what's going on, and they really don't want the people paying attention to it. Right, like information like what's being brought out right now, and like all of the men of the Lord been bringing out. They really don't want you to pay attention to that. Right? They want you to watch football and watch basketball and watch baseball and watch whatever your reality TV show is, and listen to whatever your crazy ass music is. They want you to do all that. But as far as really paying attention to what's going on in the world, they don't want that. Because they don't want you to see that this kingdom that has been strangling you since you've been over here is falling. Right? And it ain't nothing they can do about it. So many of the Most High's people are falling for that trick too. Right? They got a saying, the biggest trick the devil ever did was convincing people that he does not exist. The devil is real. The devil is a man. He's a deceiver, a false accuser. Right? That nigga is real, and that nigga run the world. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the Most High is revealing this dude. But like I said, his main thing is to make sure that the majority of the people just don't believe. Right? Don't believe he exists. So if you don't believe he exists, you don't believe in his tricks. If you don't believe in his tricks, when he tricks you, you think it's just a part of the world. This is how things go. Nah, this devil is slowly but surely, or Salak, more and more being exposed, and it's all pertaining to the end times, according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Right? But the majority of the Most High people, man, hey, just like in the days of Noah. Noah was out prophesying. The people didn't pay no attention to it. Right? They were partying, drinking, laughing, mocking. Right? They didn't care nothing about what Noah had to say. Till that ark door closed. Right? When he went into the ark, then they started paying attention. Because as soon as he went into the ark, that's when destruction came. We trying to tell y'all, man. These folks trying to keep you asleep. Because there's some real deal stuff on the horizon. If you ain't paying attention, it's going to catch you by surprise. Right? Matthew 24 and verse 39. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? This devil only got a certain amount of time. That's what grace about. It's a mercy period. It's a mercy period for you to get your mind right, get your spirit right, and do what you got to do in order to be seen favorable in the eyes of the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah. But if you're taking this grace for granted, we're talking about, well, we ain't got to worry about sin no more. I can do whatever it is I want to do because of grace. Most High gonna show you as just exactly what the payment is for that mindset. He done sent his word back out on this earth to tell you the truth about the situation. You don't want to believe it, that's between you and the Lord. Right? But as far as this devil go, this is the book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. This nigga really do think he can just be ruling forever, but no, you got a time period too. That's what grace is about. You got a time period. You got a time period to be wicked. 2nd Ezra 6:9 says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That means Job 9:24 goes so far. That ain't forever and ever, even forever. It's a time period, and we seeing the end of that time. Right? So, hey, you so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Americans, and all our brethren around the world, all the so-called Negro descent, get your mind right, man. Get your mind right. This devil then spent trillions of dollars to keep you asleep. The devil then switched up history books, then indoctrinated our people for hundreds of years, and we know it. That's the crazy part. We know this, but still don't question what's going on today. As though the devil used to be like that, but he ain't like that no more. Cause I can go out and get a job wherever it is I want to, or because I can get in my car if I can afford to buy whatever kind of car I want to buy, and I can go kicking around them, and I ain't got to worry about somebody telling me, well, this is go home, nigga. You don't belong over here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we ain't got to worry about none of that no more. You delusional. You delusional as hell. And the devil gonna show you just how delusional you are when the Most High allow that devil to really let loose, according to the book of Daniel chapter 12. Right, so with that, hey, Yahweh Shem Shah these precepts in this video are edifying. Call Haloyim Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakak Shalom Yashala.